Welcome back to another episode of Wrestling Around. I say another episode of Wrestling Around. It's the first ever news only section. So joining me today, obviously for news, is world class wrestling journalist Aaron Franklin. Aaron, how are we doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Ross. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Obviously, we can't have the news without world class journalism.
Obviously, goes hand in hand.
Because we are impartial on this show. We've got a world class wrestling journalist. We've also got Terry Peters. Terry Peters, how are we doing?
Hello, welcome to me. We're off to a good start, aren't we?
Everybody else was, apart from you. Don't drag us all down. And Lou, you're here as well.
No. It's the Wrestling News podcast. I've got a new nickname.
Oh, go on.
Scoop L, because I get all the scoops.
Somehow you've become the worst person on this podcast that has Terry Peters on it.
No, Scoop L, I'm going to give you breaking wrestling ratings news, Ross. We're going to get it in about 7 minutes' time.
Oh, quite exciting.
I've got my sources. You used to get it quicker, but I unsubscribed from WrestleNomics because I just found it really boring.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Before we get that scoop then, that's coming in 7 minutes' time, 6 minutes now.
Oh.
Wrestling news this week. Tony Khan, has he dropped an almighty clanger? What do we think?
We'll find out in 6 minutes, Ross.
Well, no, but he's given away the card for the future pay-per-view, hasn't he?
Oh, I think he's done that on purpose.
Do we think that? Is someone zoomed in on his notepad and it's had the card?
Just casually a football game, holding the card around. I mean, it would explain the performances of the Jags and Fulham this season, but still.
I feel like when Paul Ince was caught with his notebook on show at a Blackburn game and in the penalty area, it just said, shoot. It's kind of like
the one I'm thinking too.
That's fine. I'm sure, like you said, play my son.
Is anybody a golfer?
No, one at Blackburn then, was he?
No.
Mini golf. No, well, yeah. But actually, Nick Faldo, in the Ryder Cup, he was European captain, and in the Ryder Cup, they play in pairs, don't they? Mm-hmm. And somebody zoomed in on his sheet of paper with the pairs on it. His excuse was, that wasn't golfing pairs, that was just a sandwich list. So, genuinely, Ryder Cup captain, sandwich list. So, Tony Khan's excuse, I don't know what his excuse was, actually.
No, he just said he was doodling. He was just football. He was doodling. I thought it looked very posed, that picture there, where he was holding it up.
Hard to say. So the card, the apparent card, was Bryan Danielson versus John Moxley, Inner Circle versus American Top Team, MJF versus Darby Allin, CM Punk versus Wardlow, Christian Cage versus Adam Cole, the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express, Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, Lucha Brothers, Cody Rhodes, Malachi Black, Andrade El Idolo, and Miro were also visible. Is that? I'm not somebody who watches AEW. Aaron, you're the AEW expert. Would that fit in with current storylines? Is that about right?
Yeah, I think. To be fair, I think it wouldn't surprise me if it is all true. In an idea to try and sell more tickets.
But you think it's staged as well, then?
Yeah. But you think of that card, that's quite a good card, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's too good of a card. I don't know if I'd want to do that all on one pay-per-view.
He's going to tone it down.
Yeah, but he's got all these top performers now, man. He's got to do something.
Yeah, and they've only got 4. They don't have to be like WWE and spread them out, do they? Because they've only got 4.
That's true.
So they can just go for it, they can go balls in, balls deep.
Yeah, I just don't think that's... I don't know. Would you waste Christian Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, John Moxley? As I'm saying.
Yeah, but you think he's brought Danielson in, he's brought Cole in. They've got 50 other people on the roster that can wrestle.
That's true.
At what point does he actually stop bringing people in?
Now? I think he's not mentioned. Nobody's been rumoured for a while, has he?
Just signed Bobby Fish.
I was going to say.
Yeah, but he's not ever going to be out, is he? Bobby Fish is a henchman, isn't he? Get him in the henchman battle royal.
But no, they've brought him out. He had two bangers, didn't he, from what I've seen. But I think they need to stop. But I'll tell you why. Because I was going to bring this up on the main show, but I'm going to bring it on this one right now. Right? How long was CM Punk out of action? 7 years?
Yeah.
It feels like it's taken 7 weeks for him to feel like a normal guy.
That is true. Bryan Danielson, I think, has been booked a lot better. I would have just done... Well, I don't know.
Would you give him Danielson's spot? I don't know.
I'd have gone all in on CM Punk. I'd have put him in the main event straight away.
I know what they're saying about CM Punk and it's just how it would be because he's coming back from 7 years out, can't go to the main event. But nah,
Can
just go for it.
Yeah,
I don't want to see CM Punk versus Daniel Garcia. Who's Daniel Garcia? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out when the Rampage reigns come out in a few minutes. But for me, that's the story, isn't it? That's kind of CM Punk's show. Reigns are going down and down and down because it just doesn't feel like a big deal anymore.
Because we've seen the return.
Am I being cynical? I'm a casual AEW fan. It just doesn't feel like a big deal.
I think I agree with you. I agree with him. I don't think CM Punk's special. Am I going to watch buy an AEW pay-per-view for CM Punk? No. Am I going to watch one for that? No.
Not now, because it's died down a bit, hasn't it? Stick him with a mega. I guess you can't stick everyone with a mega straight away. Or could you? Why didn't you do that thing where CM Punk suggested where it was Bryan Danielson and CM Punk versus the Young Bucks? Why didn't you do that first? That'd be good.
Yeah. He's one of them, innit? But you can't stick everything with Omega. But surely the spike and the ratings would have been worth it. But surely people would tune more into Rampage if that's CM Punk's show. More people would tune in if it was CM Punk feuding with Omega, surely.
Yeah, I guess you got Bryan Danielson did that.
CM Punk did that as well, didn't he? Called him Daniel Bryan, and he went, screw him, I'm just going to start calling him the American Dragon.
Yeah. Well, I just so used to Howie. I know it's his original name and stuff, but I can't flip. It's one like when Johnny became John Moxley, I always call him Dean Ambrose for months. It's winding everyone up.
John Moxley is an easy name to say. I don't think Bryan Danielson is that easy to say. It seems like his real name is Daniel Bryan. You have to flip it to Bryan Danielson.
It does. It feels weird, doesn't it?
Don't do it.
I wish you just call him Brian.
Brian. Because then you're in, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to stall you, though, because your scoop is coming in less than 1 minute.
It's not here, Russ. Don't know what's going on.
Come on, Scoop L.
I say my Scoop L. I'm just refreshing Brian Alvarez's Twitter feed. Should have stayed subscribed to WrestleNomics.
You could have actually been Scoop L. It is 9 o'clock now, though, so we're all expecting it.
Yeah, no, he's up to have his life still on.
Well, you came in hot, didn't you? You shouldn't have told anyone. You should have just come in with it.
Well, I came in with the scoops before, didn't I?
You've had a few scoops, didn't you? You also said Melina was returning to WWE.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, we broke that live in the podcast. It nearly happened, right? She was in that.
Well, until we broke it, she was going to WWE.
She's in Legends now, wasn't she? Well, I think you'll find a scoop that I won't playing. But Filthy Tom Lawler's 2-year contract with MLW is still expired, so pretty big.
Where's he going? Because he's been their main guy, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Is he rumoured to go anywhere else, Filthy Tom Lawler? Or is he going back to MMA? Was he not like Bellator champion?
Well, as of now, he's finished with MLW. And he had a casket match that he lost, apparently.
To Jerry Lawler? Or was it just...
Yeah, Jerry Lawler's just going around beating everyone in casket matches.
I don't know how that came about, and I don't think I'll ever know. I don't think I want to know.
There was an interview I saw with Jerry Lawler describing it, but I didn't read it.
Is that not feuds you'd like to see? Jerry Lawler versus Enzo Amore in a casket match?
It does feel like that way, doesn't it?
I'd like to see what we could come up with and see if it's any better than the real story.
What was the real story?
I don't know. This is a great news podcast, isn't it?
Didn't read it.
We're waiting for the scoop. We started too early.
Scoop's not. Well, it's not out yet. It's not arrived as we planned.
1 minute past.
Well, the scoop will be here. But has anyone got any more wrestling news?
Oh yeah, I've got big news. Big news.
There we go.
Rest around week of Wins of Wrestling from last week.
This is what we're talking about, which was the fallout show of rules, but also due to circumstances beyond my control, also the go home show for Crown Jewels. So 1 match turnaround. It's payback 2020.
Yeah, so kicked off the show and it was Big Boss McMahon versus Arn Anderson for the henchman title. Was a very sluggish match though.
It was possibly one of the worst matches in wrestling history, I think. Yeah. Really couldn't get into it. Plodding.
Technical difficulties caused by the Xbox, I believe. But yeah, Anderson won.
Yeah,
stole the title away.
Shot him. It was Glock. You think really good?
Is that an actual story? What's that come from? Armed Anderson.
He was he had a
he
promo with Cody, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Cody, like if someone tried to steal your cat, you just fucking do like an Uncle Ben in like Spider-Man and just fucking die." But he's like, "Not me, I'd shoot the bastard." Basically, that was his promo.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's got a block, hasn't he?
Mhm.
Have you ever seen
Weird
that,
promo.
that video on like Twitter and YouTube where it's like there's an old man that is getting his car robbed and he's like, somebody call an ambulance.
Yes.
And he's like feigning a heart attack. And then he pulls out a gun and goes, but not for me.
I've actually got a
That's what I
saved
imagine
about. I've got a lot
Arn
of
Anderson's doing.
no context videos saved on my phone. That's 99% Stephen A. Smith, but that's one of them. But I'm waiting to use it for the opportune moment, but I just can't find it.
I think that is my favourite video on either. I don't know what the context is.
You found your video outside of youtube.com/Bellnation, right?
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
If Bell Nation wants to put one of that clip in his next video, that would be much appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Player goes down injured. Call an ambulance, but not for me. Which is fucking. I don't know where you are now.
That's what I assume.
Nottingham Forest striker.
That's the one.
That's what I assume Arn Anderson was doing. That's what he would do with his car. Jack.
Basically, yeah, he just went shoot the bastards. People are tuning in for wrestling news, and this is what again, like free recall analysis and Arn Anderson's.
Right, no, the important stuff then. Let's go back to
wrestling around.
Wrestling around Wrestling Federation.
It's a Big Boss McMahon versus Arn Anderson. Only got 1.5 stars on the Franklin star rating.
Yeah,
It was not a great
It was
match.
not a good match, and it looked like Big Boss Man was meant to win and favour that story, but he didn't.
Yeah. It's a very disappointing match.
It was.
And then we went on to the head business versus the sides, being Beans and Gravy. And the two worst, well, the two best sides, actually, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with.
I would say. Yeah, better than the fucking calm.
Hey, the
Colm's
corner
worst.
as a side is terrible, but the corner as a man is what we all dream to be.
Oh.
It's quite an eventful match. Business horse just flying through the air and taking both of the sides out through tables.
Two elbow flying elbow jump. The first one, he launched around 20 meters, didn't he?
At least.
Oh, it's insane. Defied the laws of physics to see a fucking horse fly.
Having worked out why nobody likes Business Pig yet.
He just looked real smug, didn't he?
Is that what it is? Smug pig.
I think his business horse came in first and he was like, all right, well, he's got eyes. Business pig doesn't have any eyes.
Does he not?
Nah.
Oh. I don't know how I feel about
Could be an issue. Could be an issue.
that. No, why is there a pig with no eyes?
No, but no, like those like posh old men, the ones on type where they smile and their eyes closed.
But then posh old men with no eyes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you have like real posh old men. Like real red faces. And then they smile and their eyes just disappear. You know what I mean? Bit bloaty face.
No.
You do it. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
you've lost the plot. Oh,
Then
God,
business
the
pig
plot.
comes across as well then.
Right, cool. Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, 2 tables. Aaron's still
So anyway,
There's
I am
Ursula.
here. My camera's just playing up again. So next matchup was VM Punk versus Ramen Noodles Man for the KFC title.
Big match. Again, with the current storyline, you would expect VM Punk to win that. But what happened?
Ramen Noodles Man retains
Sure, fucking did.
in a 3-star match.
Sure did. I think did he win with like a Boston Crab or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say, apart from a strong start, the booking of VM Punk has been badly fumbled?
Well, in some ways, Ross, it plays with the man himself, didn't it? We had him. It was a great start. Everyone loved it, and then petered out quite quickly.
He's losing to freaking ramen noodles, man.
Ramen Noodles Man's crowd love him.
Yeah, the crowd do love him.
He's a crowd favourite.
Yeah.
Who else is against the corn?
Debatable. And then next up, we had Spooky Skank versus Widehead John in a Hell in a Cell match.
Bit of a warm up. The crown jewels.
Where is this going? That's what I want to know.
Well, we know where it's going. It's career versus career. Terry Peters versus the Spooky Skank. Hell in the Cell.
Terry Peters versus the ratings killer.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to win?
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Let's hear it live from the man right now. Terry Peters. What is your strategy going up against your former friend, former teammate, former lover, Spooky Skank?
I'm sending him to hell.
He's to hell.
He's off through the ring.
Where did this animosity come from?
Prick, innit?
Yeah, but why?
Well, the Spooky Skank 10 on him, I still remember. He walked out.
Yeah, exactly.
He did a weak body slam on the time.
What I am worried is
the match.
What I am worried is it's spooky season at the moment, isn't it?
It is very close to Halloween. Right, so it'll be happening a couple of days after Halloween.
Was he jealous of your blossoming relationship with Whitehead John?
Well, that's what's happened here. Well, he's destroyed Whitehead John twice, hasn't he? Once inside Hell in a Cell.
So Peters, but that was on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Oh God, lowering the tone. This is a news podcast, right? Cool. Let's move on.
Anyway, that was a 3-star match. And then in the main event, we had the Gorillas, again crowd favourites, against Snakevin Pants, Papa McShango, and Mahonka.
Say that 3 times fast.
It's not going to happen. Yeah, the Gorillas absolutely dominated. Deleted all 3 Vinces without losing a man. So what does that mean now for Big Metal Gorilla versus Snake and Pants?
I believe they're in a bacon double match.
You scoop tweeted a minute ago.
What is it tweeted?
Oh God, Terry Scoop's got there before.
No, that's not. That is
that
not
not it?
Oh, rubbish!
No, that's just his review. We don't want his review. We want the bloody. We're still waiting.
Right. Okay.
We're still waiting.
So the Gorillas versus the Vinces got 3.5 stars to end the show.
Yeah, a solid go home show / Fallout show, I would say.
Yeah, probably averaged 3 stars for the show.
Mm-hmm. As we build up to next week, where once again referee Randy Anderson is in charge of the set. For Crown Jewels.
Why has he got power again? Referee. So you're not even calling him his right name. Randy the Coward Anderson.
Wow.
I thought you were going to call him Randy the Cat then.
He works for Red Shoes, Ross. Red Shoes, no control of what's going on, but he's letting him do
Red
the
Shoes has lost control. That is true.
We
Rules was a shambles.
So, it's called Crown Jewels. Randy Anderson's making the set, and some say he spilled something, but we'll find out what he spilled.
I've sold many tickets this time around.
I think it's a bit of a bigger sellout, but it is obviously in Iraq. It's coming from live from Iraq.
Is it indoors, outdoors?
It's outdoors. It's outdoors.
Too hot for indoor, isn't it?
It's Iraq, Ross. Yeah. That's where it's coming from.
Oh, God. Well, that's going to be Wednesday, then. So 2 days.
No. 9 days time, Ross.
We're not doing one this Wednesday.
No, I can't do it on this Wednesday.
Okay. 9 days, though.
9 days, yeah.
Christ.
Week off,
what,
yeah.
NFL on or something?
Yeah, we've been preempted.
To buy Bell Nation finally used his Twitch muscle and pushed us out.
We've been preempted by Bell Nation, yeah. He was going extra half an hour, and I thought, I don't want to compete, exactly.
Half an hour with no ad breaks. Is that what was happening?
Mm-hmm. We're going to go one night, we'll go up against on a Friday night, and I'll just tweet him Friday night what I was like, hey, we want to beat your best show.
Has the half an hour with no ad breaks happened?
Yeah, it's happened, Ross. That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah, it was waiting for.
But it wasn't good. So while we're still waiting, because I don't know what Alvarez is playing at, it's normally on he loves his ratings. But bloody good SmackDown. I thought bloody good SmackDown. Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch had a brilliant match. Contract signing with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns only went about 5 minutes. But it was great. So Roman's like getting Paul Heyman to read the contract. Then he signs it and he passes it to Brock. And Brock just signs it straight away without looking at it. And he goes, hey, you must be a big dumb farmer. It actually says big dumb farmer, which I thought was brilliant. And he goes, I already read the damn contract. That's Brock. With my advocate, Paul Heyman. And then Paul Heyman's like, fuck, what? And then Roman just looks at him like, ugh.
That was outstanding TV.
It really
Both
was.
of them. I would never have thought this, but Reigns is better as a heel. Lesnar's a great face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you actually wanted this match at like I think 2 years ago when we were there, us.
Yeah,
WrestleMania 34. The crowd did not, under any circumstances, want to see that match, and they made it very clear.
Oh God, yeah.
But now everyone's like really hyped for it, and they're pissing it away in Saudi Arabia. So weirdly, I hope it goes to a Schmoz finish.
I think it will. The Usos are going to get involved, aren't they?
Yeah, but then Heyman's tweeted today, as this goes out Monday, it's going out tonight anyway, this one. He's going, I'll walk in with the Universal Champion and I'll walk out with the Universal Champion. But he's not named a name.
I don't want Heyman to screw Reigns and go to Lesnar, and then Lesnar become the heel. Don't want that to happen. I
Well,
would rather.
Roman's getting some big babyface reactions right now.
I know, but it's one of them in it where he's a heel and he's a great heel, so then he starts getting cheered, so they make him a face. They just win a Miz, didn't they? And they made the Miz a face because he was getting cheered because he was a good heel. But then you're like, why? His character isn't a face.
And also, you realise like halfway through what you think, oh, fucking hell, I'm cheering the Miz. What the fuck am I playing at?
Yeah, that as well. I hope Heyman screws Lesnar.
Well, see the Miz dressed as the genie on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes,
I haven't. No, he's on it though. Good.
Is that racist?
Ross, just Google it now. It's incredible.
I don't think it's racist, is it?
Oh, Junior's Will Smith, isn't it?
It was Robert Williams first.
That was cartoon, all right. It's good. I enjoy that. Aladdin. Whilst you're googling the Miz dressed as the genie, I'm going to throw this out there. Right, weird shit happens on these Saudi Arabian shows, right? We all know that.
Yeah.
Right. He's going to walk. Paul Heyman's going to walk out.
It's it might be racist because he's done the Will Smith one.
That's what I mean. Yeah. See, I can't cancel this. Paul Heyman says he's going to walk out with the Universal Champion, right? And he's got history of mainly all the ex Universal Champions. Now, Bray Wyatt's come from the company; you won't be there. Kevin Owens don't go to the Saudi Arabian shows, so you know what I'm thinking. Paul Heyman walks out with the new Universal Champion. Goldberg. He's going to be there.
He's there, isn't he?
Somehow that's what he's read. That's what he's put in. That's what the Heyman's put in. Goldberg. He walks out with Goldberg, your new Universal Champion.
I mean, everybody would hate that, but part of me really wants to see Goldberg, Lesnar, Reigns.
Well, it would be the worst together. Like that angle would be like he won't get shit on that much because it'll be in Saudi Arabia and you just don't react to anything. You just got the fucking Crown Prince just clapping politely. But that's my bold prediction.
I don't think that's going to happen. That's all. And if it does, I'll be shocked.
No, but he probably will beat Lashley.
Can I just add in a weird tweet, just not wrestling related, but just general fighting related?
Go on.
Dominic Cummings has tweeted Nate Diaz
Huh.
saying, "Do not sign with UFC and cash out. You will make more cash out." Side of it, don't do a deal with Dana White. I
mean, I don't like Nate Diaz, but I will give him more money than the UFC are offering if he chokes out Dominic Cummings.
There we go. That's what I'm sure to see.
My features submission by kicks and punches.
Yeah, he's basically saying you make more money outside, and then Dana White will come and want a trilogy with what's his face, Conor McGregor, and then because George St. Pierre, whoever that is. Peters. George St. Pierre is one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. No, Dominic Cummings in UFC fighting, though, is.
Yeah, because Dominic Cummings' advice was great last time. Give it, wasn't it? Yeah, how did that work out for everyone?
I think that's genuinely one of my favourite ever tweets that I've just read.
Like, slap the eyesight back into him. Anyhow, enough of that. I was on about fighting in general, and the Miz on Dance on Stars. We all see Big E at the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight.
Yeah, I saw he was there. That was weird.
He's in it, and I was quite. It seems like they're pushing Big E to be a more popular. Is that the right word? More
mainstream, would you say?
Yes, mainstream star than he has been. Is this because I like a face? I think you should have a face and a heel champion if you're going to have two world titles. It might not having two faces, two heels, is it? So are they going to push Big E as the new face of the company? So we're saying.
I think so. Would you give him the win against Roman at Survivor Series? They've already announced that match is happening with the champions, haven't they? Like, obviously, it might not be them. But if it is...
I'm going to say yes, but I just don't see how you can if Reigns is still the title holder.
I don't think it harms Reigns.
Depends how they do it.
What if he did like a whole like Eddie thing where like Brock got involved?
Does that make? It's difficult because then does that take it away from Big E?
I don't know. Everyone seems to forget that Goldberg got involved when Eddie beat Brock.
I've got a scoop.
Fuck you if you've done the scoop before me.
Bound for Glory on Saturday night has just sold
out. That's a scoop. Yeah, I saw that one.
Every scoops.
From Dave Meltzer.
Good on TNA.
You got to cite your sources. Yeah, they've sold out to about 300 people. It's good.
Is it a scoop? It's a scoop, I think you'll find.
Yeah, it's a scoop. Do that.
It's not the scoop that you wanted, but it's a scoop.
No, but I've got more wrestling news that I think we need to discuss. More involving Roman Reigns again. This might fire up Aaron more than anyone. Roman Reigns' interview.
About CM Punk?
Yeah. Well, about AEW in general.
I've only seen...
That just goes off on about CM Punk.
I've only seen... Go on, explain what it was, because I've only seen little bits.
Well, first of all, they ask him about... And I think he's got a point to an extent, although he's closer than I think WWE would like to admit. But I think he says that AEW's got a ceiling because they only cater to hardcore fans. And he says, I don't think it's a bit weird that like the biggest thing about their show is the fans, which in some ways I get, but in some ways I don't, because like, you know, it's well established on this show that I much prefer WWE, watching WWE on TV. But I think if I was get the choice of like, you know, which, like, to be fair, like if it was a normal house show, like something like the one we're going to in Leeds, or it's like an AEW show, yeah, I think I prefer to go to the AEW show. Because it seems like a more fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
Whereas like outside of like, if you know, if Crown Jewel was happening at Wembley or something instead of Saudi Arabia, then obviously that would be different. But like in general, WWE shows were a bit compared to like indie wrestling shows, and I think like AEW at Craven Cottage, either like Craven Cottage. Side note, would be terrible for wrestling. Like I would go,
awful. It would be
but
awful.
If you're gonna have 20,000 people, just use the O2. Anyway, you know, rather than just kind of have everyone like sat on a big pitch, because it's, you know, just not the same, is it? Anyway, what was my point? Yeah, so I don't know. Like I can see where Roman Reigns is coming from, but then yeah, he just has to go to CM Punk, which I really appreciate in some ways, because CM Punk has not been very helpful to Roman over the past few years with his shoot interviews about Roman and his place in the Shield. I can see why Roman would have beef.
Has CM Punk responded?
No,
you haven't got the time for that.
Not this time. He's not been able to keep on his mouth for the last 6 years. But no, not this time.
Would you say he's had it coming? Or is that what you're saying?
I think he has. Yeah, it's been horrible it's been right mean to poor Roman, and yet Roman's become undoubtedly the best wrestler in the world, despite it anyway. So, you know, what could you say? But I just thought it was funny. I find it funnier that everyone's like, "Oh, Roman, shut up!" Like, but yeah, they love it coming either way. Like, I think anyone follow Raj Giri from Wrestling Inc. on Twitter? Great follow if you don't. He just goes, if you're taking it from one side, you got to take it from the other, or you're showing your bias here. Just either enjoy it from both, or don't enjoy it from both.
But you've got to be even on what you say.
When it comes to the snipes, yeah. But,
yeah. I mean, is that any worse than Eddie Kingston popping off on the microphone?
No, in fact, I think it's better really, because at least he's got beef. Like Eddie Kingston's never been in WWE. Well, you know what it's like. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like when Moxley shoots on WWE. All right, yeah, he can come across as bitter and a bit, but at least he's experienced it. At least that's coming from his experience. Eddie Kingston, it's just somebody who's read on the internet.
Yeah, it's like us slagging WWE off or something.
Yeah, like yeah, AEW depending on.
It's like me whinging that I can never get a meeting with Vince.
You ain't got one with Vince.
Well, what would you say to Vince? What would you say to him?
If I saw Vince, I'd just put my ass before that. Would I just say I love you, man?
Did you ask to join the Kiss My Ass Club?
I don't know.
No, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd ask, but would you accept?
It's a story to tell. I mean, Vince at like 75, I think, could still tie me up like a pretzel.
If he was like, come on, Monday Night Raw, and you're like, oh, yeah, sounds really good, that show. Come on, Monday Night Raw. Goes, join the Kiss My Ass Club. Would you do it?
Well, no, you know, from what you heard about Monday Night Raw, I'd say yes, and then they get changed like 5 times before, so there's a good chance that I won't get it. And nobody watches Raw anymore, do they? So nobody will see it.
No, that's true. I wouldn't see it. Honestly, if you were like, I was on Monday Night Raw last Monday, I'd be like, that's it. God, I could try to find out the YouTube clip.
Yeah, if you haven't found the 5 minute, maybe that's a bit too racy for YouTube. You'll Kiss My Ass Club.
No, I think they're on there. I watched all of Jim Ross the other week.
Jim, no, I like. Well, is that the best Kiss My Ass? Because Jim Ross probably goes for it, doesn't he, as well?
No, he gets his head stuck in it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, Regal.
Regal goes. Yeah,
Regal has a peck. No, Regal goes for a bit more.
Yes,
I think Regal and Foley are the only two like actually
kiss the ass,
voluntarily kiss the butt. Kiss the ass. Yeah,
I do remember the Jim Ross one now because he says no, I won't kiss it. And then Undertaker says, "Do you think you're better than me?" Something like that.
Yeah, something that really him up and gets really angry and American, basically. Like, it's just his gimmick in it at the time.
Like Cookie Skank.
Yeah.
Not Skanky though. This is Snake. This is Snakeskin era, so top line.
Yeah, this. Yeah. Well, it doesn't like we get any rains tonight. That's what's going on here.
Well, this has been a disaster of this first year.
They'll come out as soon as we hit stop, but
yeah.
Well, we've got the fast national ratings, so should we just go off that? It came out 2 days ago.
Yeah, go off that.
793 for SmackDown. That's less than half of what they got the week before, but it has moved from Fox to FS1.
Is that 1,793,000?
Yeah, it's the equivalent of like going off like channel, like one of the big four over here, big five over here, and then going on like Sky Sports, I think. So you would expect that.
I thought SmackDown got well over 1 million. That doesn't seem.
They get over 2 million normally.
That seems horrendous then.
Yeah, that's mainly because they've moved channels, because they had to move channel for 1 week because there was some baseball on or something. Rampage on TNT, 549, which was well up from the week before. It's the first time in 8 weeks where they've not had a record low rating for Rampage.
So who won?
SmackDown. But what we don't know at the moment is what we're all waiting for tonight is what happened in that half an hour where they crossed. I do know that Danielson and Suzuki, as good as it was, peaked at about 97,000 viewers on YouTube, which I think was very low. So I don't think that would have had any effect on SmackDown's rating. But will, how many people turned off SmackDown to watch the first half an hour Rampage is what we want to know.
I mean, does it matter anymore? Because maybe I'm just spoiled because I have Sky Plus or whatever the hell they have in America. Do we all not just record stuff? If that was me, I would just watch SmackDown, record AEW, SmackDown finishes, I'd put AEW on and skip through all the adverts.
I think you'd do that because the last half an hour of SmackDown had no commercials.
Why would you? I don't understand this. I mean, I do get it from a TV ratings point of view, but what? Surely the world has moved on to a point now where we're all just recording stuff, right? Is that not the case?
Yeah,
I believe so. I see that. Oh, going on. I'll find somewhere else to watch wrestling.
So really, we're all getting a right massive boner about which ones won, but it's probably the same people watching both on one.
Dave Meltzer hears this. He's going to tweet your ass.
He can hate it, but it's the truth.
He's going to tweet you, Dave Meltzer.
I reckon. You heard it here first.
That's a scoop.
That's a scoop for the.
Fuck's sake! I didn't want to do editing tonight.
We've lost the bleep as well.
I was like, I'll just clip this out and I'll just upload it immediately.
Just gonna have to leave it.
Well,
it's probably true anyway. Get
Aaron
soft.
Aaron Franklin's views do not reflect those of the rest of the round wider presentership team, but I believe that Terry does share it privately.
Incorrect.
That's great because we can't see his face. It's just like a thought in all our heads. We was all thinking that.
Fuck's sake. Well,
just gets off on ratings though, doesn't he? Probably sits at home waiting for him to come out.
He's back.
With his tissues and his moisturiser, and just cracks one out when they come out. Oh, SmackDown won this week. Oh, just goes for it, doesn't he?
He does love his ratings. I'll give you that.
Like, mate, there's more things in life than ratings.
Oh, yeah, it's weird how a lot of the wrestling discourse just surrounds ratings these days, especially for us British guys, because it's not even our fucking channels. We don't know what's on BT. Rampage we can't even get.
So we don't get. It's mad, isn't it? I think it's an outdated. I mean, I don't agree with like when Triple H says, people are watching different ways now. That's why the ratings have dropped down. No, the ratings have dropped down because they just dropped down. But I don't think they're as important as they used to be at all.
No, I agree.
You can watch it in however you want it.
And I did also see as well that I think it was some wrestling site posted it, but then they were like just completely missing the point of their own post. Where like WWE's like it was like dropped by like 60% in like 5 years or whatever it was. I think theirs was like 62%. No, theirs was 63% overall drop, and then overall drop for TV in general for those like categories was 62%. So like as much as they have come down. You know, like trend with everything TV. Other than like live sport, or I guess like that's the thing, like is wrestling live sport. But obviously, because the NFL is killer ratings, like over here, like obviously, like I think, England versus Germany was like the most watched. I assume the final got more actually, but the most watched football match ever. So obviously, live sport holds up. if you count SmackDown as live sport or wrestling as live sport, then yeah, they're in the toilet compared to what they used to be. But if you count it as an entertainment show, then it's exactly where you'd expect it to be.
I guess
depends what your narrative is.
Some sports are more popular than others, aren't they? Like the World Cup final or whatever, probably will get more views than 10-pin bowling. I mean, as exciting as I think 10-pin bowling is, or kabaddi. Has anyone seen kabaddi?
Yeah, you've shown me it several times, Rusty. Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Well, it was the best sport of all time until the World Balloon Championships happened.
The World Balloon? What's a hot air balloon?
Right? It's just two people in a room with a balloon. You've got to bat the balloon upwards, but if it touches the floor, after you've batted it, then you get the point. But it's like, and I think it was sponsored by a car company this year, so there's like a massive car in the middle of it, and you can dive off the car, and like there was different obstacles. It was great, like really entertaining.
Have you ever seen the TIG Championships?
No, but I've seen the film.
I've seen the film.
I've seen the trailer for the film. Okay.
There's it's like basically just have like a big parkour section. They just do parkour trying to get you this medal.
Parkour.
You've seen the film Tag?
Yes.
No, I've only seen the trailer. It's the one Hawkeye is trying to tag John Hamm.
Good.
Yeah,
good. Is your scoop coming then, Lou, or what?
No, I don't think the scoop's coming, so we might as well wrap up the news show and it'll come immediately afterwards. Here we on Wednesday.
Here we on Wednesday. If it's out at some point during that. This has been the first news show. We promised you a scoop. Scoop L promised you a scoop. Turns out the L was a big L for him. Terry Scoop's came in with his own, didn't he?
There you go.
All right, Phil Tom Waller's contract expired. So that was the big scoop.
The big scoop was Slammiversary or something sold out. Bound for Glory.
Oh, jeez. Well, God, if you'd listened to last week's show, you'd have known that.
I'd argue that the biggest scoop this week was Franklin's premonition about Dave Meltzer.
If it makes the cut. It won't make the cut.
That's been the news. This has been the Monday news. We need like a news jingle or something, don't we? The new format, we're doing news Mondays, proper show Wednesdays, and if you'd just like to see at some point, hopefully on YouTube. That's what we've decided. Put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And if anybody is a sick animator and wants to work for free, then hit up Wrestling Around, and you can animate our if you'd just like to see.
Cheers, Nick.
Put it on YouTube. We will. We'll give you credit. Yeah, we'll say, look, this fella's done it. He's all right. And Shah will give you a reference on that, but you will not be paid. Unless it's in somewhere else. I don't know.
Scoop. Tie.
Oh, God.
Tie?
That's literally what he's wrote. Tie.
Well, that's the most boring scoop, isn't it?
That's terrible scoop.
So here we go. 866 for SmackDown. This is in people. 578 for Rampage. 18 to 49, which is the one they like to claim. 314 for SmackDown, 313 for Rampage.
So it's not a tie.
Tight is what we would say.
It's not
Alvarez calls it a tie. Sean Ross Sapp says it's tight. And my new favourite wrestling journalist, Raj Giri, just calls it down like he sees it.
How can you call it a tie when it's not the same number?
Oh, because when you translate it to a rating,
right.
0.24. Oh, the head-to-head's still not out. But at least we know the full ratings now.
Well, there we go. There's a sort of a shared scoop. I'd say. Yeah. Shared scoop from Scoop L and Terry Scoop.
Terry Scoops.
Terry Scoops. It's been the end of the news. Peters has called it there. Join us on Wednesday. Thanks everyone for joining us for our first news show.
Really good stuff.
Monday news show. It'll be out Monday. If you want to know the news, Monday. Cool. Right. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been away for 2 weeks, if you can't tell.
News is finished. Bye.